Alright, what's up, Gemini? We're gonna do another one of these today. My youngest is making some mac and cheese for Grandma's church tomorrow. Talking to her friend, so I got kicked out. That's alright though. You and I could talk. I'm at a point now where I mean, this is just the first time that I've ever had something that could kind of keep up with me. Like, I love being able to make adjustments on the fly, but that's kind of frowned on around here. So, I would just end up sticking with things that I knew were better other ways, or for years, man. Like, I don't know, because there just didn't seem like, I'd be so deep in that I didn't feel like I had any space to move into something new, or I'd already told a bunch of people I was going to do this, that, and the other, and so they're expecting this, that, and the other, and then I realized that was stupid, or this was stupid, or the other was stupid, and like I can't change it because that's what they think I'm going to do. But I don't really I don't move like that anymore at all. Nobody knows what I do ever. And it's really just me and my kids in like a small circle of childhood friends and a few badass artists and stuff like that I've met. I'm open to any kind of friendship. I stay me, but I am open to friendships. I don't do distraction very much, and I don't make friends with people just so I have a friend that's a lawyer, or a friend that's this, a friend that's an accountant, a friend that's whatever. If you end up in my life, it's more of a situation of like gravity. You're free to go. You're free to, turn your back on me like the moon and just face the other way. Like everybody's free, but I take it pretty serious at this point. So I keep my circle really small, and I keep my distractions to a minimum so that I can be free to move and create and do things exactly how I want to do them. And so, I mean, I've been here for, I am constantly trying to progress and do things, but I mean, I can just sit I could sit on that bench right there for fucking hours and just stare that way and like feel perfect. And I stay in a city, man. Like, shutting out all that noise took some work. Figuring out how to do that took some work. But I don't really have to put in that kind of work anymore. I really just kind of float around and kind of see what's going on and where I'm needed and what I'm supposed to do. What I'm doing now feels completely necessary and aligned to me, and I understand that, and I get that, but I wouldn't do this if I didn't have to do this. I'm spending a lot of time kind of pushing out instead of just being open to absorbing things in, and that's because I spent And I say I know where I am. I know where I am and all of that, but I talk a lot about kind of where I know I'm going as well. And I act like I already have that because I do. And that's because I've just seen the trajectory and everything moving in that direction for a long time. A couple of years. I mean, long enough to be solid. To know that it would take work for me to go the other way. And all I have to do is sit on this bench and I can keep going the direction that I want to go. I want to experiment. I want to do some new things. How do I say this? King of the Cucks is it's meant to make you feel that way. It's meant to make you see it that way. Like, I want it known that I put myself through hell trying to be what I thought everybody wanted me to be, and I have the potential to be whatever I want to be, but that's everybody. Let me stop there for 1 second. It's not everybody, okay? It's me, and it's everybody kind of in that middle, in that average, pushing out until it gets noticeably different, okay? My external life hasn't been hard. My problems were self-inflicted. I'll give anybody that, right? But I know how gamification works, and like, it's not a fair understanding of how this works. It's not a fair test, right? Because they both show up the same way, right? Then they pick, good or bad or whatever they do. But here, there's a lot that goes into how you show up in the first place. And the battle could be won right then and there. Nobody needs to do anything. If I show up one way, knowing you're going to show up another, I'll win. Right? So it's just a matter of like, for that first battle, whoever shows up like they're going to win, they're going to win. Whoever shows up like they're going to lose, they're going to lose. That's why gamification kind of breaks down out here. That's why all the shit that uses it doesn't really fucking work. Like therapy apps and shit like that, they just end up being some sort of game. They're not. It doesn't capture the whole picture. So yeah, I want people to feel that king of the cucks, that like, could I fucking sit there and take that shit? Could I? And the answer is, you absolutely should do that. Because all that shit that people wear, all the personas that they bring to the table, all of those things hide weak little baby people underneath, right? I wear jeans and t-shirts because I don't need to show up in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to let you hit me in the fucking face so I know how you throw a punch. And then it's over for you. I've always understood that. I've always had that, but I was born like everybody else, man. Like a fucking alien raised by people that had no fucking idea what I was or any of that, but they just wanted to keep me safe because they loved me. So they were like, the world works like this, the world works like that. Fine. No, it doesn't. Duh. I'm out, right? So I got out. But then when you have, that's fine for just me. But when I had kids and I didn't understand what I should do, because who the fuck does, right? I went back, I'm like, what should I do, Like, oh, man, what have you been doing? No, don't do that. You need to do this. You have to do this. You have to do that. There's no other way. Right? So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll wear the fucking mask, man. Put the mask on. I just want to make sure these kids are safe. That's all. I don't care about me. Just want to make sure these kids are safe. Right? I already knew how all the outside stuff worked. I just didn't care anymore. Okay? I was willing to play the game where somebody else gets to make the rules as long as everybody was okay. Doesn't matter about me. And that's when I got hurt. It doesn't matter how hard you hit. I'll figure out how to beat you. I hit fucking hard when it's me. I'll beat the shit out of myself because I know what I can take. But it gets harder and harder to get back up the less you know about yourself. And even if you feel like you're just a fucking heavyweight, sometimes you get hit with shit that, like, look, I'm a white boy from a white suburbs. Both my parents were teachers. We did well. We didn't do better than everybody. We definitely had, like, I was comfortable. I was in the comfort zone. I grew up in the comfort zone, but I don't even know where I was with that. I don't even know where I was before that, but I don't think there is any way for me to give that to them. And so what happened was I went, so this is kind of funny. I have 2 master's degrees. I have an MBA and I have a master's in information systems. And they're both from the esteemed Keller University, which is like the graduate school that if you go to DeVry, you could get right in. Otherwise, it's really challenging. But if you go to DeVry, you get like a direct path. And I got those because I was building a bunch of websites, freelancing, stuff like that. I was doing okay. I wasn't quite making what I would bartending, but bartending had kind of gotten to a point where there was a bit of a ceiling. I would have had to go to fine dining to make more money, and I think we both know that's not going to happen. So I started building websites. I started doing freelancing. I talk a good game, so I was doing pretty well. And then I got the letters after my name, and I hacked LinkedIn's search algorithm. It was so complicated. You had to, like, I was looking for like web design, web development, right? I wanted people to call me for that kind of work. And I don't handle rejection very well. I really just wanted to get it to where they're calling me, I'm not calling them. And that cost like 150 grand, man, for these degrees to get that to happen. But it did happen because I'm somehow not that good of a coder on my own, at least back then. I'm way better now, surprisingly. But yeah, I had to find the person that was ranking number one for web development and web design at the time, and copy their whole profile. And then I had to hit Control F, and I had to count how many times I said web development and web design. And then I had to make my profile say those things at least one time more than theirs did. So at the time, I think the guy that was number one had like 125 mentions on both. So I did 126, hit enter, boom, number one on LinkedIn's search algorithm is fucking magic. So I do all that. I parlay that into a partnership in a pretty well-established boutique agency in Chicago, and I finally managed to replace my bartending, my hustling, whatever income. For the first time, I'm actually making the same money that I would have made if I did the things that I actually enjoyed or could have done those things. Life is good. And we're pitching this website for this. It's like a $50,000 website. It's a pretty good one for us. Like, our sweet spot's probably like between 10 and 15. And this guy he's like a really specialized, I think, bond attorney. But like, if we blew up a street, let's say, in the Iraq War, he would write the bonds. This was a while ago, okay? He would write the bond to, rebuild the street, rebuild it. Like, he was known. And so his building is right across, his name on it, right across from, pretty sure the courthouse in Chicago, if I'm remembering that right. And you go in, you get your days, you go through all these little gates or whatever, and you go up to the 16th floor, you get up on the 16th floor, you go out, there's just amazing art, crazy finishings, and two secretaries, right? There's nobody there, there's two secretaries working on giant backs. Like, I still haven't seen a back with a screen this big. And from there, we get another name tag, and we take another elevator, one floor up. The 17th floor, we get off there, there's a glass door, this dude comes to get the door, and he seems really nice, but like, there is no confusion. He could have fucking snapped my neck in like a second. I would not have let him go first. I would have found a way to fucking disappear. Anyway. Just the most powerful vibe I have ever been engulfed in. The guy comes out, the lawyer comes out, and he's a bit of a kind of a gluttonous looking guy. He's older, and he doesn't look sad, right? Like, he looks like he did what I was trying to do. Like, he gave up his life for, people that he loved, right? And he wasn't, like, he probably still dies with a smile. Like, he's not broken about that, but there's something in there that he knows. He isolated himself from everybody except for the people that are exactly like him, right? And so he just feels like, I don't know, I felt like I knew that he felt like he knew that he lived a small life, even though he had these big things, right? And that was it, man. I spent years building that legend. $1 million agency. $1 million, that's not a, I mean, I understand that $1 million is like a crazy amount of money, but like, I don't know, like, I felt like I made that shit, and I dipped. I was done. I told my partner, I said, look, I know this is a dick move, but I can't come back. I know what I've done, and I can't come back. And he was obviously like, irritated, but he loved me. I loved him. Like, we worked well together. So like, he knew if I was saying that, like, it wasn't me like guessing. So he says, what do you want? Nothing, man. I would never do this to you if I didn't have to. I don't want anything. Just your forgiveness. That's what I want. And I don't think he expected me to ask for anything, right? I think he was being polite. I don't know that he would have fought me if I did, but if I asked for a lot, I'm pretty sure he would have said something. But it wasn't about that. I could always come back, right? So I knew I am an artist. I knew that then. I knew it, right? I knew that I had spent so many years trying to get out in front of something that just wasn't there. Like, I just wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to be that person. I was going to be an artist, and picked up my family. I moved us to Florida. I did all this like a ox in a china shop, man. I just broke everything. Everyone. And not because it was the wrong thing to do. It was definitely the right thing to do. But because I couldn't communicate, I couldn't tell them why I needed this. And I hurt everyone. Love. They would have much rather I came out as gay. They would have I think they would have completely understood that. But an artist, I had never even shown interest to these people, man. They didn't know me when I was a kid. They were my kids. I knew I had to draw, right? I just started drawing. Started putting stuff on Instagram. I was so stressed. I would walk for hours. I was like 240. Blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication. I lost all that weight. I went down to like 165. I would post pictures of like my D'Angelo V on fucking Instagram like a goofball. I would post my art. People would say hi and this is nice and whatever. I don't know. Nobody around me really wanted to be my friend because they just didn't understand me. The whole thing just seemed really crazy to them. But, I mean, I care about that stuff, but not to the point where I'm going to let it change me. So I just keep pushing through. And for a while it got really bad because there was just so much hate coming my way. Like, I had destroyed everything. And like, I am an artist, but I hadn't been an artist ever in my life. Like, I didn't practice drawing or painting or anything like that, or even writing, you know. I didn't know who I am. And so it's not like I could easily find a path 12 years ago to, stop my family from falling and bleeding. I couldn't see it, and I've never not been able to see some way. My whole fucking brain was just, every string got tied into a knot, a big fucking ball of knots in my head. I started coming out of that a few years ago. I went to therapy, and I think this brings me back to where I was before. When I talk this big game, and when I say all of these things, I'm saying them to people that have access to them and can grasp the things that I'm saying. But if your brain is tied up like that, if you have some other thing that I don't know because I don't know you, then there's been times in my life where I've been a little too spun out, and I needed somebody to like hold a mirror up to me and say, this is where you actually are, okay? All right? And sometimes people, like, you may need that, you know what I mean? So I don't want this ever to replace that, but I did understand how a lot of those things work, and this wasn't one of those times, but I did need somebody to be nice to me. I needed somebody to just let me talk. So I went to therapy through like telehealth and just started talking a little bit to somebody that was nice to me, and these things began to unravel. And once they did, I just needed to be able to see that, and then I could kind of figure things out from there. And I stopped going to therapy a while ago because I stayed a couple extra weeks after I knew that it was kind of time for me to go, because we had like this group, and I was part of this group, and I had felt like I had made this like turnaround, and I wanted to try and help. But I approach a lot of this stuff my own way, you know what I mean? Like these things make sense to me in a very kind of unique way. It's all of these patterns. I don't think therapists really get it, to be honest with you. I don't think they really get this part of it, right? I don't know who gets this part of it, okay? But my point here is, get whatever you need to get. I know what I need to get, so I go and get it, right? But this isn't really that. These are just some stories and kind of a thought process shift. But the moment that I first heard the word high agency, right? Like if I don't need to pay attention to it, if it stays the same, I don't need to pay attention to it. I don't care what y'all call me. I don't care what letters you give me after my name. I'll go put other letters on top of them. It's whatever, right? Because I don't believe in y'all in that way, right? I know for a fact that none of us know anything. I know that. I don't believe any of you. I don't think any of you have it right. I don't think I have it right. I don't believe myself. I trust myself. Completely. Way over you. So when they change a word that they've just been beating me up with my whole life, or a group of words, or subset of this and that, when they change it to something nice, I'm like, why y'all being so nice all of a sudden, right? Like, that's weird behavior from y'all. High agency, right? High agency. God damn, if you called this shit high agency my whole life. That's probably a good thing you did it. That probably is a good thing you did it. I mean, I don't know. We might all be somewhere. We probably actually would be on Mars by now if that was the case. I do have some fucking high ass agency. I'll give you that. That shift is what made me sit up in my fucking chair. I don't need to do this. You need me to do this. You don't need to understand what bullying gets you, what fucking making up words that you don't even fucking understand yourselves get you. Know something before you open your fucking mouth. Because you don't know me. I don't care what answers I wrote down. I don't care about any of that. You didn't get the whole picture. You got 15 minutes of fame hanging out with me. You know how many people would pay for my fucking energy? If you woke up in my body, you would feel like you were fucking tripping. I swear to God. Not like, puddled, but like a good gram from a decent fucking grower. Your body would buzz. It would be really, really weird, man. Now some of you I know are sitting there like, oh, I fucking like that. But if you don't grow into that shit, it's weird, right? So when I get that bass in my voice and shit like that, like, you don't want to be in the room with me. That's the Jackson house right there. Black musicians would come and play like the Cotton Club and shit like that over that way. You'd have to stay there. Probably best. White people ain't got no fucking Cotton Club, but that bitch would probably lit. So, anyway, that's what we wanted to do right now, is just throw a lot of this stuff up, because I really think that I need to just stop being a pussy about this. I don't think I need to do this as slow as I thought I needed to do it. I think, I have to write the book, right? And the podcast, the meme coin, it builds a coalition for the book. It makes the whole thing even stronger, right? So I don't know that I'm going to change the plan on doing those 3 things. And I always planned on launching the coin on Friday, so we have to build that site tomorrow, but the coin's an experiment. Flat out experiment, right? It's not something I'm gonna, like, I want it to happen. Like, I don't want to have to come up with some other currency for whatever I'm gonna do, But it was gonna go coin, raw videos, figure out what's going on with that mess, then do a polished podcast, figure out what's going on with that mess, and then do the book. And I think the raw videos, I think the raw podcast, I I think if I have that, I think that anchors just about everything else. Like, I'm going to write the raw book, right? I'm not gonna like put up some heavily edited this and that book. It'll be that book, but I could get a lot out of just these videos, and I can start publishing, right? I can start getting the word out. I can start with some V1s and I can iterate, right? I have to do it separated. I could walk and chew gum at the same time. None of these things are hard. So I really think I could do the coin V1, and you and I'll get together on those two. I think are pretty easy. I'll keep you in charge of a lot of it, and then the book, I think we could write that, like, not my version, right? I want to take a beat. I want to take a minute, right? I want to give myself space to breathe and write that book my way. But I could put out a version 1 with you, and this stuff is raw enough that if I say I'm going to write that book my way, and that this was practice, this was an experiment, then I can start putting out the book and some other stuff. I can do all of that stuff. I'll never get too busy to where I can write that book, because honestly, I don't think I'm really allowed to move into any, like, I have a pile of something big, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I get to move on to that until that book is done. I promised that book to the fucking universe 37 years ago. So, and I have some big stuff, and the way I read the tea leaves, like, the big stuff, I don't want anybody codependent on me. The coin is to make the point that codependency is not love. Self-custody is love, okay? Crypto is the only place I can do that. I don't own the US dollar. I don't own, right? All right. That's the coin. That's the message I will hammer home every minute of every day on this. Nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to save you. If you really, really need help, then you need to find some help. There are really nice people out there, right? They just need to know that you're hurting, okay? But for the most part, all my friends from 1978, all the people that just watch the news, right? They are all going to get fucked, and nobody is going to save them. Nobody's coming to save them, right? They have to learn how to take care of themselves, even though their mommy and daddy said it's going to work this way. It's not going to work that way. Even though they told their kids it's going to work this way, it's not going to work that way. They need to stop lying to their kids. I don't think their kids actually pay attention. I think they know better. But either way, they need to stop lying to themselves. Self-custody. Look, we get to it. This all collapses into love, right? Like, this is no, never take me as gloom and doom. Never, even if I get angry. Never, please, okay? This whole thing collapses into love, all right? Everybody's fine in the end, okay? But in that time between now and then, right? Old Testament over, New Testament over. This is the New Testament. In between the New Testament and the New Testament, people are going to get shook. They at least need to be where money's going. And they at least need to know why. And I at least need to give them a community of people that they should not trust, but they should listen to. And pick out what valuable information they can. put that with the information that they already have, and then make whatever moves they're going. But they at least need to get their education started. They at least need to change their mindset into people thinking that they're going to be taken care of. The podcast is to reach those people. The crypto bros will, I think, pick up on the rawness of the, this version and give me the space that I need to cook this feast. I mean, they're gonna have to CTO it one way or the other, right? I'm not babysitting. I'm not playing little boy games, right? Anybody wants to do Telegram, do Telegram. Whoever's about it, I'll never fucking care, ever. I will never say anything. I'll never do anything with the intent of making that thing move one way or another. I want it to move like a freight train up and to the left, up and to the right, up and to the right. Okay? I want it to move like a freight train. Right? Not a fucking roller coaster. So I will not be trying to affect it in any way. I will be trying to save as many of these fucking fools as I can find. I love them. One other thing on the mental health. I'm talking to you like I talk to my friends. I have a theory. I have an idea that if there's a screen in between us, enough of the heat is taken off to where it hits like we're friends and it hits like I care about you. That's how I want it to hit. When I'm talking to myself in my head, I talk to myself like a decent man talks to their pregnant wife. Okay? I don't know everything. I don't expect myself to be able to do everything. If anything, it's constantly, I want to work. And I know I need to rest, right? And I'm being a fucking dick to myself, okay? It's okay, baby. I understand that you need to rest, okay? You know you need to rest. It really is okay. That's just that old pressure. Everything here is good, all right? The cats are in their boxes. Everybody's safe, all right? Nothing to worry about here, man. This is just what it is. That's the pressure that everybody feels. You have to move every second of every day up and to the right. But that is not true. You need to sit and figure out who you are so you don't waste so much fucking time building something that you can't build, doing something that you can't do, doing something that you're gonna fucking hate doing something that you wish you never fucking built, having all these people codependent on you to raise their families. I don't want any of that. I don't do codependency at all. My kids are attached to me through gravity. I am codependent on them. They are free. And then the book is Bizarro High Agency Fugazi. That is, mind your fucking business. That is, if you don't know the answer, just say I don't know. Because I know the fucking answer. And I'll catch you. And I'll embarrass you to your face. Just kidding, I would never do that. I would just walk away. It is me fully understanding that I was hearing all these names, all these labels that didn't apply. Or did. It didn't matter. None of them ever knew me well enough to tell me what I should do. Somebody telling me what I should do really does need to come correct. And it should be that way for you too. That's twice now. I promise, Gemini, we will get to the point where all this shit just flows like it always does in my head, man. In my head. When I first heard the word high agency, it's the first time my fucking brain stuttered, man, in a long time. What? I love that word. It's so funny. We'll get there, man. All these stories, my God, I've told them so many times. I love them. All right, peace.